Starfield is boring. It's a basic shooter with subpar gun mechanics, nothing groundbreaking, and I just did not feel immersed. This is what I thought about Starfield at first, and I was completely wrong. And here's why. I played it for the first time live on stream a few days ago and came into the game with two mindsets: immersion and to entertain my audience. The intro sequence was pretty immersive, especially when they revealed the outside for the first time, together with the music. I was in complete awe. Holy crap, this game looks so good. It was beautiful. Then came the first combat experience, and I'll be honest, I was quite underwhelmed. I thought it felt flat and just basic. I didn't feel the immersion I was looking for, but I moved on anyway. Then came character creation, which I was super excited about, but looking back, here's where everything went wrong. I created a character looking to give my audience a chuckle or two with a meme name and a baseless character background. I was just trying to be funny. I chose the chef, making up this story that I'm just some dude who used to cook, lost my job because of a food critic, and somehow got into this mining job. Something like that. Just a nobody. Then we picked our traits. I ended up choosing traits that had the least negative impact on my character, hoping to not give myself any unnecessary hassle through my gameplay. I was looking for the easiest path possible to the end. And this, like I said, is where everything went wrong. I continued to play for a full 4-hour session, and the longer it went, the more I lost interest. The dialogue didn't interest me at all. The combat, like I mentioned earlier, felt flat. And then came the skill tree, where I was just so lost and had no idea where to put skill points. It overwhelmed me, thinking it's gonna take forever to progress to this huge skill tree, which demotivated me to play Starfield even more. I hopped off the stream thinking, man, maybe Starfield isn't for me. It bothered me. But then I realized I missed the whole point of Starfield. It's a role-playing game, not a realistic, immersive FPS space sim. Role-playing. Those are the keywords. I totally ruined my own experience with creating the most random, baseless, and spineless character to ever exist in any RPG. No story, no struggle, no goal. This explained a lot of my boredom. Like, every time dialogue came on, I was so disinterested that choosing dialogue options was such a chore. And it was because my character had no spine, no interests, nothing. He was boring, and it made the game boring. That's until this happened. I reset my progress and started over, this time with a real character in mind. This is Vince. No last name, just Vince. He used to be a Ronin, a badass blade for hire. But as good as he was, he never really got the respect he thought he deserved. He grew up an underdog all his life. Most people thought he was just another mercenary trying to make ends meet. But to a few, he was more than that. He was their hero. He's also an introvert, so he prefers to work alone. And in the world of blades for hire, no one really liked him because he never really fit the mercenary stereotype. Others felt like he never deserved the title as a Ronin. He's a quiet type, which made others perceive it as weakness. Vince never really got the external validation from anyone until he met his one and only adoring fan. Our Ronin also preferred a stealthy approach to things and was more comfortable with melee weapons. And right away, this changed everything. It made Starfield addictive. Combat became super fun from the get-go. The moment Vince had an opportunity to grab a melee weapon again for the first time in years, it felt like he never even left. It gave my combat experience much more direction. Now, I was focusing a lot more on stealth play and melee kills when possible. It allowed me to choose a specific set of skills and weapons I prefer to use instead of being paralyzed by choice. Same goes with having conversations with others in the Starfield universe. Not only did it make choosing dialogue options easier, but it made them more entertaining and immersive. Because now, my character had a spine and morals. He knew where his head was at in every conversation he had. He was not second guessing. And now, when I look at the skill tree, instead of being overwhelmed, I'm actually excited. Excited to choose which path I'm gonna take, realizing I'm not supposed to be an all-around guy. I can't be everything. I have to choose my path. Starfield isn't about min-maxing skills, weapons, and playtime. Arguably, I believe the slower you progress, the better. It's not about being the strongest and the best from the get-go. The more I try to be the best, most optimized min-maxed character out there, the more it got boring for me. You see, everyone we look up to, whether fiction or real-life characters, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. My first character, I was trying to avoid weakness, the least path of resistance. Our Ronin Vince, on the other hand, always had something to prove because he knew he isn't the best, but also he believes he'll get there eventually.